All right. So, what's the big word? Which nickel exactly is the most commonly cherry picked? And for this particular variety, that's worth a lot of money, and it's not very rare. Some of you are probably, even before clicking the video, are trying to decide, well, it's got to be a Jefferson nickel because of the full steps, or it's got to be a Buffalo nickel because there's just so much more varieties and various other things going on with that series. And, well, it's 50-50. But the coin that people look for, and it's actually not very rare at all, is indeed the 1937D three-legged Buffalo nickel. Okay, so before you guys even think or get started with, the hate mail and comments like that, hear me out. So I've been collecting coins since the mid-90s. Okay, it's quite a while, 20 plus years. And this is a coin right here that I have made a living off of. And let me elaborate a little bit more. I have found roughly 24 1937D Buffalo nickels. Okay, and I'm going to tell you my big secret on how this is done. Okay, it's actually not hard at all. Considering that, excuse me, considering that you have more resources at your fingertips than I did in 1998, 1999. Okay, back when the infancy of the internet age was just being born. So these coins right here, believe it or not, are not only extremely sought after in every just about virtual type grade, from poor to those high mid-state level coins, but these are most commonly overlooked, okay, predominantly by dealers. Dealers sometimes will get huge, massive stocks of these. Okay, usually, they'll buy an inheritance, and someone had saved a whole bunch of these nickels, and typically, okay, they would be either low grade or they would have no dates at all. Now, this is an extremely identifiable coin if it is missing the date. Okay, so the coin would virtually be a poor to fair grade coin. Even in that kind of condition, okay, these coins are sold somewhere in the $100 to $150 range because, again, they're identifiable. There's only a few dates within the Buffalo nickel series that has any sort of 3 legs or 3.5 legs where you get the extra abrasion of the front leg on the coin, on the reverse, with the Buffalo Black Diamond. How I've approached cherry picking these is I attend the show circuit. I go to my LCSs. Typically, I'll cherry pick their stock. If you could pick up a regular, either non-dated or weak-dated Buffalo nickel in the 30s, like a 37D, sometimes you'll get lucky. And generally, I have been blessed with some great luck and great determination to be able to find the amount of three-legged buffaloes in my lifetime. Now, obviously, when these coins are in such low grade, low state, okay, because you looked at my thumbnail and say, oh, you can make well over $80,000 on these coins, and I'll get to that here in a second. But even those low grade coins, I have successfully sold them between the $250 to $500 kind of arena. And typically the grades that I have been successful in finding have been somewhere in that fine to VF range. Okay, believe it or not, coin dealers they have their blinders when it comes to big, massive, bulk purchases of wheat cents and Buffalo nickels. Okay, they'll go through it and look for the key dates. Okay, 37D, generally they'll pass them by unless you get the one astute coin dealer that'll actually flip around every single coin. This one right here, again, you could see it a mile away. Okay, it's what they call a naked eye variety, where you don't need a magnifier to know exactly what you have. But you got to be careful with this particular variety right here, because it is also easily one of the more counterfeited coins. Now, on something like this will have a few diagnostics, okay, to go along with the missing front leg. Okay, of course, It's a heavily polished die, which is what they call abrasion in the coin kind of speak terminology. And genuinely, with something like this, there is also going to be a number of little raised little dots underneath the buffalo's belly. Okay, so that's also a secondary diagnostic for this, which is why the counterfeit coins, the ones that someone had polished away that front leg of the coin, you could also tell, being able to take this coin and look under a magnifying glass to know if it's real would be definitely the best thing you could do for yourself. I know it's a naked eye variety, but like I said, maybe 25% of the entire population of three-legged buffaloes are not real at all. Okay, so they've been messed with. You know, some people that are trying to get away with a fast one, they'll do things such as this. So you're going to look for some raised dots underneath the buffalo in that little field area between the legs, and that'll be your diagnostic to let you know that this is indeed a true to life three-legged buffalo. So of course you've seen the coins up here, you've seen the close-up that I have provided. Okay, there is no semblance of any front leg other than maybe like a little stump of where the leg used to be, attached to the body. So I'm happy to say that this coin, and the reason why I say it's one of the most easiest to find, because it's not rare at all, it's got a URS rarity of 14, okay, which is higher up than some of the other varieties around in the Buffalo Nickel series. Okay, the higher the URS, by the way, it goes from 1 to 20, 20 being the most common. So typically, coins underneath 10 are relatively scarce. There would probably maybe be about 1,000 to 1,500 examples of that coin, because generally the mint employees will have kind of picked off that particular variety, and they'll go ahead and change the dies out with something that has an actual front leg. But this one, it's been speculated for years that the mint employees have ran through a full set of dies for the 1937D three-legged buffalo, okay, which is why I was, over the years, been able to find 25 to 30 of these. On the average, let's say I make $300, okay, I have made close to somewhere in the $8,000 to $10,000 area just by cherry picking this coin. Okay, I would probably go through maybe 6 months to a year without finding one, because this is a series that I find very interesting for a number of reasons. There's a lot of bad quality planchets, a lot of annealing type of issues, a lot of laminations. There's a ton of repunchment marks and double dies, along with the two feathered variants of a lot of the dates that it is there for the picking. So there's a lot to offer in the Buffalo Nickels. So if you think the 37D is fantastic, I also have a kind of like a runner-up coin that I also want to talk about that is along the same lines, and generally this is a coin that is supremely overlooked by a lot of kind of like casual cherry pickers, and that's the 1936D 3.5 leg Buffalo Nickel. Okay, as you see right here. While the abrasion is pretty strong on this one as well, on the reverse, it also affects that front leg, much like the 37D. You could actually see just a hair bit of remnants of the actual front leg. So the die wasn't completely abraded in that particular area. There's going to be a couple little raised bumps on there to designate an actual leg. Okay, so this coin right here is worth considerably more in mint state condition as well. Okay, so again, go ahead, check out the photos. You're going to have an incredibly weak front leg, if anything. And this is a coin that I've cherry picked maybe 2 or 3 of those over the years, and have sold my particular examples in VG to find for around $500. So they're worth a little bit more, and they're worth quite a bit more on the higher grades. So I had talked about a coin that could possibly be worth $80,000 or more. Well, it's more than just picking out these coins in kind of the circulated material, but also take a look at some of the BU mint state coins that also exist out there. Believe it or not, dealers, eBay sellers have fallen asleep at the wheel selling these coins with actual three-legged diagnostics. Okay, so you want to make sure you look out for these. Now, coins typically that grade above mint state 66 are going to be your multi tens of thousands of dollar type coins. Okay, those are the grades that the deep pockets people will pay through the nose for. And as a matter of fact, a mint state 67 plus had sold a number of times. There was actually a few examples of that particular coin in that grade level that was sold. One sold for $86,000 and another one sold for $85,000. This was over 12, 13 years ago, but it gives you an idea of how rare and valuable the grade makes this coin. But again, it's not the Wonder Woman of coins. Okay, it's very easy to find in all grades. The highest grade I found of this coin was one that I had submitted and graded PCGS Mint State 64 that I've sold a long time ago, and I probably sold it for less money than it is worth as recently as 10 years ago. I sold this one in the early 2000s, you know, and I was a guy in my mid-20s. I just didn't know any better. I should have held on to it. It could have been a coin worth somewhere in the $10,000 to $15,000 range. Instead, I got a little bit less than that. But again, check out all your available options on this one. Your LCS, eBay, put a flyer out on Facebook coin groups and that sort of thing to see if you can find bulks of these. That's where you're going to have your best bet finding some of these neat varieties. So I wanted to talk to you about it. Again, not a rare coin to find at all. Okay, again, the 3070 three-legged buffalo. Again, speculatively, has been produced off of one set of dies, which is about 10,000 coins or more. So there's quite a few of them out there for the picking. I found my lion's share. I'm going to continue to do my thing and find more, and I encourage you to check it out. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. As always, come follow me on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter, and the best way you could support my channel is give me a great big like. Okay, the narrative doesn't change. Everybody says that, and I believe it to be true. And yeah, if you haven't done so, subscribe, share, and feel free to comment. You know, appreciate you guys. Thank you for all the views, and I'll see you on the next one. You guys take care.